Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Very interesting developments and important developments in the new occupied territories or acquired territories by Russia. Putin declared martial law. Wow, he didn't declare martial law in Russia or anything per se, but in those territories. Remember, Ukraine has been under martial law since the beginning of invasion, I think it was, because if they did 90 days and then they did another 90 days and then they did whatever, and now it's extended now. So I know it's still gonna be one more month or so. So let's see what's going on with this one. And this article comes straight from the source, which is Sputnik, and it's 2 hours ago, and that's today is the 19th. The 19th of October 2022. This is the title. Putin declares martial law in new Russian territories amid Kiev's terrorist shelling. Okay, let's see. The Russian president convened a meeting of the Security Council on Wednesday to discuss the situation in Ukraine and the Russian regions bordering the conflict zone. A day earlier, General Sergei Surovikin, the commander of Russian forces taking part in the special operation in Ukraine, characterized the situation in Kherson as, quote-unquote, very difficult. Russian President Vladimir Putin has signed a decree on the introduction of a state of martial law in Kherson, Zaporozhye, the Donetsk People's Republic, and the Lugansk People's Republic. And I'm quoting, "I have signed a decree on the introduction of a state of martial law in these four constituent entities of the Russian Federation. It will immediately be sent for approval to the Federation Council, Russia's upper house of parliament, and the State Duma will be informed of the decision," Putin said, speaking at a meeting of the Russian Security Council on Wednesday. The Federation Council is expected to convene later in the day to rubber stamp the decree. The text of the decree has been published on the Kremlin's website and indicates that martial law will be introduced at 0000 on October 20th. So at midnight it's going to be starting in the affected areas. The decree is grounded in provisions in the Russian Constitution and the 2002 Federal Law on Martial Law. And I'm quoting again, "The constitutional laws on the admission of 4 new regions into the Russian Federation have come into force. The Kiev regime, as you are aware, has refused to recognize the will and choice of the people, and has rejected any proposals for negotiations. On the contrary, shelling continues, innocent people are dying," end quote, Putin said. And I'm quoting again, "The neo-Nazis are using openly terrorist methods, sabotaging critical infrastructure, assassinating representatives of local authorities," end quote, the president added. Putin also instructed the government to create a quote-unquote, special coordinating council to coordinate efforts to improve security, with the council to be headed by Prime Minister Mikhail Mishustin. Well, okay, let's see what's going on here. The president also introduced a high alert regime in areas of Russian Southern Federal District, including Crimea, Krasnodar, Belgorod, Bryansk, Voronezh, Kursk and Rostov. Regional authorities are instructed to exercise their authority as required to implement measures aimed at ensuring preparedness for territorial and civil defense, the protection of the population in emergency situations, and to meet the needs of the Russian armed forces and other military formations, security organs and local residents as they may arise. So like everybody gets activated, it seems like. citizens with security forces plus the military. Well, that means they are either overreacting in order to justify certain actions that they will take, or the situation is really that up. So regions are also tasked with strengthening public order and safety. That means stay home, including the protection of military and state facilities, vital infrastructure, transport, communications, energy facilities that will surround them and for the any attacks, and sensitive sites which pose increased risks to the life and safety of people and the environment, nuclear power plants, for example. The measures may also include restrictions on the movement of vehicular traffic and their inspection, and the stepping up of controls over transport, communications, print houses, computing and automatic system, and their use for defense needs as required. In addition, any residents temporarily evacuated from a dangerous area must be provided with temporary housing. Well, Wednesday Security Council's meeting and the introduction of martial law and high alert regimes in areas of Russia bordering Ukraine comes following it says that the 10th. So the Security Council meeting introduced the martial law because General Surovikin briefing says that the situation across the entire front is tense. Well, actually, based on the Russian leadership's statements made, I expected Russia to react differently, and my expectation was I will tell you what my expectation was, and why I think the Russians did not do that. I thought that Russia will issue an ultimatum to Ukrainian forces, Ukrainian army, stating that any Ukrainian army personnel on the territory of Russia is illegal and it's an invasion, and call it in a certain way. Therefore, we can do whatever we want with you and with your country since we are in this situation. And they could have activated some other weapons, given ultimatum where the Ukrainians would have just ignored it and would have escalated immediately to local use of nuclear weapons. The thing is, the Russians, since the beginning of this operation, in my assessment and observation, it's not like that. It's not that the facts are not there. Increased their operation capabilities, like for instance what they did a few days ago in retaliation to the Kherson bridge being blown up partly. They increased. They didn't jump to the full force. They could have just said from the very beginning, well, whomever helps you militarily or any other way, Ukraine, we will consider them part of the conflict and we will bomb them or something. That would have been a straight ahead thing. But Putin did not do that. So he did not say, okay, you are helping Ukraine, we're gonna just bomb you because you're part of the operation. They're helping my enemy, you're my enemy. The same here, he didn't decree these troops that are, I'm sorry, the troops that are on Russian territory, we want to blow you up and all that with nuclear weapons. It seems like they choose little steps, baby steps. Right now, he's doing this instead of saying, ultimatum, we're going to bomb the shit out of you, get the fuck out. And he didn't say that. So again, he could have said it, he doesn't. That again, it's calculated and in small increments. We'll find out. The martial law changes that the whole population will be now more vigilant, but is he going to employ more army in there to help them? Because he didn't mention anything about Ukrainian army being already on Ukrainian territory. Now I don't know if they are or not. The Ukrainian says yes, they are. We are already in the territories where these guys conducted referenda. So what's going on now? We'll find out. We'll see. But the main point here is the martial law is instituted in those territories, 4 territories. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.